Hello there guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to another video. Hope all you guys are doing well today. And this video is going to be your match preview for Chelsea versus Arsenal, kicking off later today at 7:45 p.m. UK time. And I'm looking forward to this game because it's a chance for Chelsea to get revenge on Arsenal. Because if you remember last season, they done the double over us, beating us 3-1 at the Emirates and 1 at Stamford Bridge. Because I say like the one at the Emirates was so embarrassing than the one at Stamford Bridge. Even though it was a mistake from Jorginho, we had few chances. We had few decent chances to at least beat Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, and that was under Thomas Tuchel. But under Lampard, it was different. It was different because it looks like they were better than us, and then up until Arsenal went scored the third goal, it looks like we were playing football. So for me, the difference between Lampard and Thomas Tuchel is that at least Thomas Tuchel got the best out of these players, whereas for Lampard he failed. He failed because that time Arsenal were in a relegation zone, not in a relegation zone, sorry, in a relegation battle, and we couldn't beat them, even though we should. Since we're in the top four, they were about to be in a relegation battle. Like that time, there was no excuses. Whereas for Thomas Tuchel, at least we done better. But we had a few chances, but our attacking just let us down. And that mistake, really cost us. So that game at Stamford Bridge, I say like it was far better than the Emirates, if you know what I mean. But now it's Chelsea's turn to get revenge on Arsenal by doing the double over them because we beat them 2-0 at the Emirates, and hopefully we can do the same thing at Stamford Bridge. It ain't going to be that easy. I'm not expecting lots of goals, but I expect Chelsea to not feel tired, not go to sleep, and concentrate because sometimes we said this last season, but we failed. But let's hope this time we don't fail because Arsenal in the last three games after the international break um have lost. Lost to Crystal Palace away, lost to Brighton at home, and lost to Southampton away. And if Chelsea can win, that'll make it four losses in a row, and just make sure that Arsenal will not finish in the top four. Even though Tottenham, even though they have a game in hand, they still have to face Manchester United next, then West Ham, then Tottenham on the 12th of May. So those games ain't going to be that easy. It really ain't. So that's where Arsenal need to really focus on if they want to be in the top four you know, but 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 they know that facing Chelsea ain't gonna be that easy because yes, even though we've lost to Brentford the first game and to Real Madrid, at least in the last three games we won. Yeah, yes, you can say that in the Real Madrid game we've lost on aggregate, but at least we beat them 3-2 at the Bernabeu. At least he showed fight there. If Arsenal went there, they would just get battered. They would not show fight. They would not. So that's where people need to understand that Chelsea's squad is far better than Arsenal. It's just strong enough. Arsenal are relying on their youngsters to do well because their experience is just absolutely terrible. Look at Lacazette, 1 goal in the Premier League. Edin Nketiah, no goals. You know, they're just simply not good enough. Arsenal's defense, Ben White and Gabriel, has been all over the place. They haven't been that great. They really haven't. So that's the difference between their squad and our squad. Yes, we can see the loss of goals, but at least Rudiger has been one of the best defenders in the world, and so is Thiago Silva. That's what people are saying. So that's the one thing that Arsenal fans need to understand. That even though, yeah, we've seen this last season when you guys beat us, at least our defense is much better than yours. That's why we're keeping clean sheets. Of course, Edouard Mendy is going to get the Golden Glove, but at least we're keeping clean sheets back to back. Against Southampton and now against Crystal Palace. So that's the only thing I'm happy about. So yeah, so that's all I've got to say on this. But it depends if Chelsea turn up tonight. It really does because yes, in the first half against Crystal Palace we were just terrible. it was terrible. Like we were boring, and that's why people call Chelsea boring. You know, even though that sounds annoying, they're right. They're right because we just really don't turn up in the first half, but in the second half, much better. You know, but I really hope that Chelsea put in the same performance in the first half and in the second half against Arsenal because if we play like that against Crystal Palace, yes, we will win, but in the first half, it looks like we will. It looks like Arsenal will score and we will concede, which I never want that to happen. Never. So for me, we need to concentrate, put in a brilliant performance against Arsenal, making sure that we're not that we should not be scared of them. They are in the top four ways. They're not going to secure third, and I'm not sure if they're going to be in the European places either. The way the other teams are catching up to them. So that's where these Chelsea players not need to concentrate and not feel scared because if they do, they failed and Arsenal beat us. So no, I want Chelsea to get revenge on Arsenal for the double. And we're looking to do that for the first time since the 2015 to 16 season, where we beat them 2-0 at Stamford Bridge and 1-0 at the Emirates, if you know what I mean. So I really hope that Chelsea get revenge on Arsenal. And if we can win, I'll be a very happy man. And I and that would be great because I remember some Arsenal fans telling me that since you're the Chelsea fan, you've got to be careful because we can catch to you. Yeah, third place is on. And I told these people, we've got games in hand. You got tough games after the international break. So how on earth are you going to finish third? How? You know, maybe maybe you'll get a draw against Palace, maybe you'll beat Brighton, maybe you beat Southampton. But after that, you got tough games. So how on earth are you going to beat and so how on earth are you going to get third place? You know, and look at that. The last three games they failed. So I told these people, just calm yourself. Calm yourself. The season's not over yet. It's not. So yeah. So I told these people that, and they even said to me that right. And I know I'm always right because I know all these teams very well. You know, and Arsenal are way off of Chelsea. They've never been above Chelsea since the 2015 to 16 season. Never. You know what I mean? So how can they say that they're going to be above us when our squad is better than them and it's strong enough? If you know what I mean. So there you go. So that's what I've got to say. So yeah, and if they lose, they know they ain't gonna be in third place anymore. They're not gonna secure that. It's gonna be for Chelsea. So that's what I'm look. So that's what I'm hoping Chelsea win tonight. I really do. So without further ado, let's move on into my predicted lineup against Arsenal later today. So without further ado, let's start off with the goalkeeper, and of course it's got to be Edouard Mendy because um, I I mean he was decent against Crystal Palace, and if you see that save from I think from Zaha, that was absolutely fantastic. It was brilliant, and he kept a clean sheet as well in the last two games. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, anyway, let's continue. So Edouard Mendy in goal. So he kept a clean sheet, and yeah, he was decent against Crystal Palace. You know, back-to-back clean sheets. You know, I mean, the game against Southampton, and now the game against Crystal Palace. Or no, sorry. I mean, yeah, he conceded against Real Madrid. So yeah, sorry, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean he's at least we've seen the real Edouard Mendy because the last the third the two games after the international break he was just not great. He wasn't that great. But ever since then he's making big saves, just keeping his team just focused, so there you go. So for me, Edouard Mendy starts. I mean, I thought that Kepa would start in the game against Crystal Palace since Thomas Tuchel knows that he's our second goalkeeper and normally he doesn't start in the Premier League, but he started Edouard Mendy. So if I was Thomas Tuchel, I would um, played Kepa for the semi-final and played Edouard Mendy for the final since we're facing Liverpool, in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, but he decided to play Edouard Mendy and he looked really good against Crystal Palace, and my back three is going to be Rudiger, Christensen, and Trevor Chalobah. Now, for me, Trevor Chalobah has to start because he's been getting lots and lots of rest. Yes, even though Aspilicueta did well in the game against Crystal Palace, he was just a bit sloppy in defence. Whereas for Chalobah, we all see that he can play one in that position and he can defend really well and even scoring goals. So for me, Trevor Chalobah has to start against for Chelsea against Arsenal. He has to. Christensen, I thought he did really decent against Crystal Palace, and over the last couple of games, he has been really good, Christensen. Even though I wanted to for Thiago Silva to start. I thought the last couple of games, Christensen looked really good, and the same thing goes for Rudiger, if you know what I mean. So yeah, those are my back three. I mean, I doubt. I know that Thomas Tuchel would like to start Aspilicueta, but for me, it has got to be Trevor Chalobah. He's been getting lots and lots of rest, so for me, he has to be in the lineup for today's game. Moving on into the wing backs, and it's unchanged. Marcos Alonso on the left and Reece James on the right. I mean, Marcos Alonso, I tell you guys, in the game against Southampton, he was really good. In the game against Real Madrid, he was good, and in the game Crystal Palace, he was good. Like honestly, like Marcos Alonso really surprised me because whenever he plays that position, sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. But the last three games he has been really, really decent. And if he can keep this up, then even though I want him to go, at least he's done really well. If Marcus Alonso would have done this when Ben Chilwell was out, then I'll hold my hands up and say that he's done decent. But but before the international break, I'll say he has been bad. He has been really, really bad. But I have to tell you, I'll give credit where credit's due, and yeah, he's done really decent. Reece James, though, I mean, he started as the right wing back, but when Kovacic came on to replace on Wim Loftus-Cheek, he had to be at the centre back, and I tell you guys, he was decent. I mean, to go from a wing back to a right centre back is unbelievable. Like this guy, we missed him since that injury, because whenever he came back, he was absolutely fantastic for Chelsea, you know. And I hope that next season he doesn't get another injury. Otherwise, that would be another blow for Chelsea. It really, really would. So for Reece James to come back and play the way before the injury is fantastic. Yes, he's not scoring goals and he's not getting a couple of assists, but at least he can play right wing back and right centre back. He can play and even the midfield as well. He could just play anything. So for me, Reece James has done really, really well ever since he came for Chelsea. Now, moving on to the central midfielders, my two ones are going to be Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho. Even though I do think N'Golo Kante will come on, for me, he has before the Crystal Palace's games, he hasn't been great. We haven't seen the real N'Golo Kante that we've seen before the international break. So for me, he needs another rest, and Jorginho has to come on you know. Um, of course, the bad news is that Kovacic, our best midfielder, has injured during the Crystal Palace game in the FA Cup, and yeah, I heard in the press conference that Kovacic is not going to be available, so that's going to be unfortunate. So that's why I put Loftus-Cheek there because I thought he looked really good against Crystal Palace. In fact, him as well. I mean, him alongside Alonso has been decent in the last three games in all competitions. Southampton, Real Madrid, and Crystal Palace. So yeah, I mean, like I said, Thomas Tuchel is the best manager because if Lampard stayed for Chelsea, he would never get the best of these two, never. Whereas for Thomas Tuchel, he has, because we all know that Thomas Tuchel is an experienced manager. He really is. He was the previous manager for Dortmund and for Paris Saint-Germain. So that's why I like Thomas Tuchel because he's getting the best out of these players, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so for me, Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho are my two central midfielders. for this game. You know, and hopefully Jorginho will just be a bit better in the Crystal Palace game, if you know what I mean, because he has been a bit poor. But hopefully he will not make any mistake like he did last season against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge and put in a much better performance. So yeah. So moving on into my front three, the last and that's going to be excuse me, Mason Mount in the as the number 10 and Timo Werner and Kai Havertz as the two forwards because it's an unchanged front three because Timo Werner he was decent against Crystal Palace. You know, even in the last three games, like the players who I thought that need to go are really starting to improve. You know, Marcus Alonso, Timo Werner, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Christensen, they've really improved in the last three games. So, and it's all because of Thomas Tuchel, like I said before. He's getting the best out of these players, you know. So it is what it is. So it's on a change front three, like Mason Mount. I mean, in the last three games, scoring in the last three games, I think he scored 4 goals and had 1 assist. That is unbelievable for such a player. Like he's becoming one of Chelsea's best players alongside Kovacic this season when it comes to goal and goal contributions. You know, he has been absolutely fantastic. For Timo Werner, we're starting to see the real Timo Werner from Leipzig. Yes, he's not scoring lots of goals, but at least he's improved ever since he started on the left-hand side, if you know what I mean. Kai Havertz, yeah, in the game against Crystal Palace, he wasn't that great, but he's still our best forward, and he's still better than Lukaku, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so that is my starting lineup. What do you guys think in the comments down below? Would you agree or disagree? And what would you change? Would you start in N'Golo Kante this one? And also Aspilicueta is the right centre back. But let me know in the comments down below. But that is how got to be my predicted lineup for the game against Arsenal later on today. So let's move on into my prediction. So my prediction is going to be 2-0 Chelsea, like I said on the prediction show on Monday, because I don't see Chelsea scoring like say more than 3 goals against Arsenal. If that actually happens, then boy, God help Arsenal. But I just don't see that happening. I really don't. But I'm confident that Chelsea will get that win, that 2-0 win, get revenge, and do the double over Arsenal. Because if we can do that, then that would be great. And it's like 6 years ago since you last done the double over Arsenal, which is not good. Like Arsenal in the last couple of games have got a recent record against Chelsea, but let's hope we can end that record by doing the double over Arsenal, winning tonight, and we can do that because, like I said, we did beat them. In August 2-0, and I remember Lukaku just bullying Arsenal's defense that time. He really, really did. So I'm confident that will do the double for Arsenal and let's get that win. Let's hope we can do that. So that is the end of this preview. Make sure you guys tune in into the live watch along that's coming up later today, 7:45 p.m. kickoff, and I'll be live at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So make sure you tune into that. And after that game, I'll give you guys my match reaction. And let's hope it's going to be a happy and joy reaction rather than me being angry and just disappointed and mourning all the time because that's all you guys don't like to see. And yeah, that'll be it. And then lots of things coming up from now on till Sunday. So make sure you tune in into my channels so that you guys won't forget. So that is it. That is the end of this preview. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, if you are new, hit the subscribe button below, hit the bell notification so that I never miss any of my content. Share this video to everybody so that they can give their thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and give this video and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys later on for the